there, and welcome to the GITEX Tech Waves podcast, bringing you the latest trends and innovations in the shifting tides of tech worldwide. Now, I'm Georgia Tolley, and today we're broadcasting live from GITEX Global at the Dubai World Trade Center. It is, of course, the biggest AI and tech event in the world, and I can tell you now, from this sort of vantage point in our studio, we can literally see the tens of thousands of people who are swarming in and out of the various halls. And we have been lucky enough to grab a few of them to come and join us on this Tech Waves podcast. And I'm delighted to say I'm joined by one such guest now, Wojciech Bajda, who is the Managing Director in the public sector for Amazon Web Services in the Middle East and Africa. He's joined me here in our studio specifically because we're going to talk about the subject of democratizing access to the cloud through global collaboration. A fascinating topic, and I'm very, very grateful to us for joining us here in our GITEX Tech Waves podcast studio.
Thank you very much, Georgia, for having me. I appreciate it.
It's really lovely to have you with us. Now, let's start with the fact that obviously Amazon Web Services is widely known for its cloud infrastructure. But are organizations, in your point of view, fully harnessing the power of the cloud?
So yes, AWS is not just an infrastructure provider. We are a catalyst for innovation in the MENA region and globally. And since the beginning, when AWS was established in 2006, we've been working relentlessly to democratize access to cloud and to all the technologies that cloud can offer. And even today, there's a lot of hype about Gen AI, and we've been doing the same. We've been working on providing customers a choice so they can choose the right tool, AI tool, the right model. They can innovate, they can experiment, and they can build on that. We love to call ourselves builders, and we love when our customers and partners are builders too. And just to give you an example, a Technology Innovation Institute from Abu Dhabi, a leading research institute in the Middle East, they partner with AWS to build the top performing globally large language model called Falcon. And they did it using Amazon SageMaker, which is the machine learning service. We are also very passionate about supporting startups. We have different programs like AWS Generative AI Accelerator Program for startups. One example, fantastic example from Dubai, is the startup called Camb.ai. They built an AI-driven digital platform to create content for media. And they did it on AWS, they are running on AWS, they are scaling with AWS. And last thing, there's many customers who sit on big amount of data. Data is the new gold. And they want to help to do data-driven decisions for their products and their solutions for serving customers. And we have customers like Almost Safer from Saudi, who built a digital travel platform. And they are using Amazon data management and analytics to better serve the customer, to provide customized, personalized customer experience.
So that's just, 3 or 4 solid examples for why it's a good idea to get onto the cloud. What are the main challenges, though, of cloud adoption? Why are more companies, do you think, not engaging with the opportunity?
So look, there's a lot we can do together, and especially global organizations and companies like AWS. We need to partner with governments. We need to partner with countries to make sure that we provide the digital infrastructure to different parts of the world, right? Especially with focus on underserved communities, where sometimes even reliable internet is not available. We have to also support countries and organizations with open data policies and encourage responsible data sharing, of course, with all the mechanisms for privacy and security. Another thing is we are trying to promote with different governments around the globe cloud-first policy, which is a framework. If we do this, we open the door for public sector, especially so the organization can sign up easily and start using cloud. And last but not least, global organizations, governments, our responsibility is to support and fund development programs and skills programs, especially for the new digital technologies, so everybody can be equipped and be able to contribute to the digital economy.
Are there some countries that ultimately are already slightly falling behind? Because, you've got countries got like the UAE that's got incredibly good digital infrastructure. If we wanted, every single company in this country could be, loaded up to the cloud, and there'd be no fears of anything slowing down, for example. But, are we seeing a lag in countries where that is not the reality, where there isn't reliable internet, for example?
Yes, absolutely. There are emerging countries, and what we need to do as responsible companies and also governments, we need to ensure there's a knowledge sharing and technology transfer. Easy way to transfer this to these countries, especially between developed and emerging countries, sharing best practices, expertise, and advising on how emerging countries can embrace these technologies and have access to skills, development skills is very important. Another thing is underserved communities, providing access to cloud and to the trainings, regardless of the location and background, is critically important. And last but not least, we need to leverage the online training. Online training is the most scalable and cost-efficient way to reach wider audience.
Do you think that governments are getting on board with that? Do you think they're willing to engage with this idea of knowledge transfer?
Yes, they do. I mean, we see all around the globe, governments are engaging with AWS. And for example, for us, it's been very important from the beginning to contribute to the knowledge economy. Whenever we enter a country, when we open our entity, when we open our infrastructure, we feel responsible for contributing to the knowledge economy. And we do this by providing, development programs, skills programs, and we work with K-12 universities, startups, graduates across the board. We are very passionate about academia industry collaboration, where we build a dedicated industry-specific programs, like, for example, oil and gas. It could be a great example from this territory, right? And also, we are super passionate about lifelong training. The technologies keep coming. They will keep coming. You need to be always up to date and be able to embrace them for your own benefit, for your customers. So this is where we put a lot of attention. We do online trainings, we do certification, we do mentorship. Amazon Academy is a great example. All around the globe, we do Amazon Academy. And for example, in Saudi, we aim at training 30,000 Saudi nationals and provide internship for hundreds of them. We have fantastic program in the UAE to nurture it's a 12 weeks mentorship to nurture the Emirati women in technology at every career step. Since 2017, in the UAE, Egypt, and Turkey, we train 150,000 people. So training, education, enablement, and supporting citizens and governments is as important to us as building the digital infrastructure.
It sounds like AWS has got a brilliant working relationship with many of the countries, not just in this region, but around the world. And that shows a sort of enthusiasm for your services. But is there any sort of concern around proprietary data or sovereignty issues? Because, of course, part of this is that, for example, if every single government body here in the UAE was on the cloud, and it may be that they probably are, I imagine they probably are, is there any concerns there about where that data, which will obviously be very sensitive for a country from a geopolitical perspective, is there any sort of sensitivity around where that's being stored, where that could be shared?
This is a very, very hot topic nowadays. And look, as I said, data is the new gold. And you want to protect your data. You want to understand who has access to your data, right? AWS is very committed to data security and sovereignty, and we are doing different things to help our customers. So, for example, we are building our infrastructure in different regions. We are building regional infrastructure all around the globe, so customers can choose where they want to store the data and which local regulation they have to comply with. Second thing, we are providing very robust security measures. We have over 300 security and compliance services available to customers so they can use them to protect their data. And the last thing, we strongly believe in empowering customer control. So customer is the one who controls their data. It's not AWS. We don't have access to customer data. Customer decides on where the data is stored, how the data is encrypted. We even provide external encryption keys so customer can store these keys somewhere else, and the data is useless without these keys. So we give a lot of empowerment to customer to have control on the data.
One other sort of strand, I suppose, to this conversation about the cloud and about artificial intelligence is whether or not, there are enough people to work in your industry. You mentioned there that that the learning online and constant learning is very, very important. Is that something that you're sort of backing in lots of different jurisdictions?
Look, learning online is super important because with online learning you can reach much wider audience, and education is not under very strict sovereignty controls. I mean, as long as you don't share personal data. We work across the globe. We provide programs to all the different countries. And as I mentioned, we work from K-12 to even the highest government level. We have programs for government executives so they can understand these new technologies. They can understand how to embrace these technologies for the better serve of citizens. So online learning is the best way to do this and promote the development skills, upskilling and reskilling.
Okay, I'm going to ask you to look into your crystal ball, which is slightly unfair, but I'd like you to sort of throw ahead, 10 years down the line. Where do you think we'll be? What do you think the cloud landscape will look like then? Do you think realistically everything will just be on the cloud by then, or do you think you'll still be working in certain jurisdictions?
So look, we believe that cloud will become even more integral part of our lives. Cloud is the foundation that enables all the great technologies like AI, for example. And talking about AI and Gen AI, I mean, there's no cloud, there's no AI.
Yeah.
That's the truth, right? And AI is being integrated into every facet of people and industries' lives, providing knowledge and capabilities on demand, and all done in a very responsible and secure way. We believe that what will be important for next 10 years is global collaboration, because global collaboration among private and public governments, hyperscaler like AWS, will drive the innovation. We can create the environment for people and organizations to innovate and build new solutions. This is number one. Number two is we must ensure inclusivity. So everybody has access to this technology, regardless of background or location, and the technology serves everyone. And the third one is, I'm very passionate about it, and I believe it's very important. We can really address global challenges with the cloud. The power of cloud can tackle challenges like climate change, like healthcare, education, or economic developments.
So obviously, AI requires a lot more computing. It requires a lot more bandwidth. Realistically, in the future, with so many people using artificial intelligence, how are you going to manage that from a data center's point of view? How are you going to manage that from an ecological point of view?
Absolutely. It's about the bandwidth. It's about the energy required to power these data centers, right? Amazon is very committed to sustainability, and we do a lot from technology point of view. For example, we invest in our own chipsets. Every release of new chipsets brings some improvement when it comes to power consumption. The performance grows, power consumption is less. We work a lot with external vendors on how we use the water for cooling our data centers around the globe. You can imagine data center in the UAE requires much more cooling than data center in Sweden, for example, right? So this is top of our agenda. Yes, there will be more data centers built, but at the same time, with every release of our technology, new chipsets and servers, we can serve more. We have bigger capacity, bigger processing power. So it's not that it's exponentially grows. We try to manage this and make sure that there's a solid business case, and customers will want to move to cloud because it gives benefits like cost efficiency, like agility, like security, and it will be much easier for them to run their workloads on the cloud than invest in their own hardware and software. It's not a coincidence where we built our data center. We always look at the location from energy availability point of view. What is the power plant available? How sustainable is this energy, you know? Because there are some places where maybe there's a surplus of energy, right? And then we can use it. So there's a lot of science. It's not a random building of data centers left and right.
Wojciech Bajda, really very interesting interview. Thank you very much indeed for your time. I feel there's an awful lot to explore there, and an awful lot we have explored. So thank you very much indeed for joining me today on the GITEX Tech Waves podcast. And of course, if you enjoyed that episode, please make sure you check out more of our guests. We had an amazing array of people talking to us on this podcast. Stay tuned for more trends in tech in your next episode. And if you want more updates, please do check out our social media at GITEX Global. But thank you very much.